most pertinent. Pretty much, I think he played 16 games of Timbersaw, and he was 15-1 on Timbersaw.
But that one, that I don't know.
Well, he lost the wings, and I will say, because I've heard him say this to me many times, that lane would have gone better. But one, some miscues from his own supports. He also got double bashed by Shadow, like 2 in a row with this Oracle Void lane. If he doesn't die there, it's a different story. But point is, off laners I think can have the smallest hero pool and still survive.
So the puck pickup comes out from Team Spirit. Now we had puck banned out the whole series so far.
They banned DP instead.
It is a Toronto-Tokyo hero. I don't think they've played it position 5 yet.
And they won't. No way. No, it's not Maposhka's style. He is very much the Tywin Lannister as a 5-position support. He is not like Puppy.
Traditional?
Huh?
Is that what you mean? You
No.
use like traditional?
Oh, yeah. Like he's on his little horse or floating in the back of the fight, you know? Just not really looking to engage, just ordering things from behind the action. People like Puppy, Kuro, they'll play Clock, they'll play Brew, they'll get up close and personal, but it's just not really his style. At least from what I've seen. Maybe he's got some new.
They also ignored the Oracle first pick that they've been doing, so that's a little interesting. Navi goes to the CM though, probably for trialing capability reasons and strong laning.
Yeah, this is going to be just one of those rare games because Navi banned out Death Prophet, so the need for the Oracle is probably lower in value there. But also it's the fact that for Navi, they've got a whole new drafting recipe they've got to show now. They don't get to pick pos 4 into off lane, and now they just go, this is our support duo.
Roger Chen, it's quite solid. Something you have had a lot of success on back when he was on VP. I guess it was solo playing Chen more, wasn't it?
Well, we've seen Roger play Chen earlier on in the tournament when they were playing against Unique.
Dude, Dota's been around for so long.
And he played 2 Chen games when they get playing against no techies. And he has actually played a lot of Chen. He's played 4 Chen games in total in the DPC League so far.
I was reliving a tournament I played in the other day, and I'm like, oh my god, that was 5.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, to be fair, 2020 kind of passed. You know, that like is a dead year basically. So everybody's just gotten a year older, didn't really get a lot in return for it. Unless you spend time learning a language or something. Sorry, Purge.
That's true. No, it's okay. Chen's also 4-position hero this game. Almost every other time we see Chen, it's a 5. So with CM in the pool, probably going to be always want to fly 0. So he's going to have more net worth. I'm curious to see what he does with it. Probably just like typical stuff, fast mech into other momentum items. But I'm curious to see how he plays it.
Yeah, the key thing in the Chen games Navi has played so far, it's the idea that they always have pressure to apply and a quick tower to take. So in the side lane, you apply that pressure, you suddenly retain to mid, you've got this TA, you've got this like big hero that's able to just, you know, overwhelm that objective.
I love the ban, specifically the Doom from Spirit, because that's what Navi have used as their finisher in a lot of games. This late pick Iceberg Doom, especially if there's a puck middle. You just straight up regen through it, combine that with a Chen, the regen addition, like you just can't win, it feels. So the early game's too powerful, and then all of a sudden there's this Doom with like Blink BKB Shivas. It's 25 minutes into the game and you've lost. And man, Yatoro, we gotta send you a lamp.
Ever since he turned off his cat ears, or I don't know what went wrong with cat ears, but like there's a light source missing for sure.
I understand. If you're superstitious at all, sometimes, you know, you gotta keep the routine. Cat ears aren't working. Switch headsets.
I do like the shirt. He had some astronaut shirts, very in the theme of the old Perseverance landing on Mars.
Pretty wild, actually. I highly recommend if you haven't checked out the photos to just look at it. It's kind of interesting how it's like the higher definition makes it almost seem more commonplace.
Yeah, I think you saw the same video as I did, where you see like the panning and like the reddish guard. That's fake. It was definitely posted on the next effing level or something like that on Reddit. It was a fake video.
That wasn't real.
That was not real. Somewhere in the thread is like, hey, that's fake.
There are still photos from...
Yes, there are photos, but that video that you're...
I'm talking about the photos.
Okay, it's fair.
I just saw one today, like, here's a hole on Mars, because the thing, like, dug a hole, and like, look at that.
Will we see other teams be picking Mars? Oh, no,
I think I probably saw what you saw, too. It's possible. That's such... Man, I love the internet and hate the internet for the same reason, but, like, you know... It's perfect timing to fix. Teacup, relax.
You just go to a random place in the desert, take a film, free karma.
No idea.
Sorry.
Just cash grabbed.
Go on, mate. What are you going to say about the voice spirit?
I don't know. I thought you were going to make a point.
I was going to make a point. Yeah. So Navi, the last time that they played with the Chen, it was with a voice spirit, and of course, guess what? Shiva, you mentioned there was a hero that General had played.
Yeah, it's one game so far.
Void Spirit.
Void Spirit. There we go. So yeah, just
this
Na'Vi,
might be number 2, but doesn't Iceberg also play Void Spirit?
they can potentially flex it, and this
but
is
he
why they like
hasn't
to
yet.
open it. They maybe, but most likely this feels like just the general hero, in my opinion.
Okay, the puck willow. I like this a lot more than when they picked it in the previous game. Also, again, man, I don't want to flame too much, but Mira had a couple of questionable deaths. Just sort of walked out and died without buyback twice as that willow. Gotta be a little more cautious with your.
Oh, that's Iceberg.
That's
hero.
Iceberg. Hell yeah. That is sweet. It's a tough matchup for the puck. Really nice against the support duo, and their mid game is now nuts.
Question: big difference from what we see in Europe. In Europe, there's a lot of emphasis in keeping the draft open. Nobody knows who goes where. Everything is telegraphed here. Is that like okay to do? Like, is this the new style, or are they just less diverse?
Yeah, these teams don't really have as much flexibility as I think some of the European teams, mainly because they're supports. They like to play like the strong supports that have the game. They're not going to be sacrificed in the draft. And, you know, with Na'Vi, it's like, sure, you're showing your CM Chen, but it's like the idea that if you want to counter this, we get to still counter you with our cores. And that's why we're not really seeing these teams trying to be too creative with the hiding the heroes.
Yeah.
And in addition, you need to have that flexibility. As soon as we see puck, we know that that's Toronto, Tokyo.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to hide it. Like, if it's secret, it might be Puppy. In fact, it probably is, but you don't have that as Spirit.
Yeah,
They also protected themselves with the Ursa ban as well, and they're leaving their carry matchup for the last one, so they're still semi-protected here.
I like the fact though that Na'Vi has identified how Spirit likes to play right now. Going into game 2 and 3, these drafts are very skirmish driven, and that's why the likes of the Chen with the heal, the Void Spirit with the elusiveness, the Kunkka with the bow, these are all heroes that can deal with early fights and then maybe turn it around with like a big play.
I just really hope it's the 3rd game in a row Team Spirit will last pick Collapse's hero.
Yeah.
I want something better than what we've seen thus far. The Sand King game, they won it, sure, was not the Sand King. That second game, he actually did pretty well, but I wouldn't, like, consider how far ahead VTune was. You last pick this Void Spirit. It doesn't really answer the PA at all. You will once again be last picking his hero. Please, give me something.
There's one big difference this time. Last time they started banning out Collapse's heroes second to last, or last ban on the previous ban phase. This time they can only ban 2 heroes totally. So Centaur or Axe will make it through.
And Bloodseeker as well as an option, but I think we'll see what Navi's next ban is. Might help indicate kind of the idea of what they may be scared of from Team Spirit.
Do you guys think there might be a chance that Roger on the Chen goes for the shard, the one that gives you send back?
Yeah. I don't know if he's done it thus far, but it is a very good option just for these int heroes that like to, you know, blow up a lot and then reset. They don't really have that right now. Okay, they go for a Tide Hunter.
I was hoping they would do that in the previous game.
This is nice.
I'm a fan. Gives them team fight really nice against Chen.
Yes, for sure.
Sit on a tower. The team fight now is pretty nuts.
Yep. By Hood, do the same thing. Now the nukes aren't as threatening.
10 seconds.
I mean, a safe laner, they banned out Lifestealer Jug. Pretty standard. Maybe Slark's a possibility, but it's not really Navi's MO. Maybe a Morphling. Nope, that's banned too. Ursa's banned as well. And it's a pretty nice Tide game. Not really seeing what's left. You don't want an illusion hero. But it really feels like it's kind of got to be either PL or Slark, but I would not want to play PL.
It's a Bloodseeker.
Yeah, that's okay.
Huh.
Choose your hero.
Very aggressive. This is super all in on like win lanes play around Chen.
I like Rupture against PA at least. That part's pretty good because he's normally able to jump around the fight a lot, and that basically gives you an option to kill him even through his BKB. So that part's okay. He'll be able to stabilize his lane against Tide. He's not that killable since his armor's pretty high, so it's okay.
Like they need to be able to have the strong laning presence. Like Kunkka, he's gonna have a free time mid. This this Chen plus Void Spirit will have a really nice time in that offlane as well. It's all about like how much tempo can they push in because Bloodseeker carry into an eventual PA. Like PA is gonna have such a fun time, 35 minutes plus.
I think the way these games are played out, I like what Spirit's got just because it almost feels guaranteed to go late.
That's true.
And then they have PA tied.
Yeah.
Like the Ags coil plus a Willow, like that's kind of nuts.
What are you thinking, Purge?
I think Navi has to split push the map relatively effectively since it is hard for them to find the Tide Hunter. So if they can like be a little bit tricky about where they dive and go for pressure, they'll have a decent chance. But I feel like the Tide is just perfect this game. So I think I like Spirit's lineup better.
All right, thank you very much. And Kyle, you're on board with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Navi's been playing better, but it just feels so much harder for V-Tune in this game. He's got to once again put on that all-star perfect 10 performance because ultimately Yatoro will out-farm him and we'll get to a point in the game where he just becomes unkillable.
Now, we also were pretty critical on Yatoro, especially previous game. Is this an easier to execute draft for him?
Yeah, I think he's cushioned by his team really just like all he has to do is throw a dagger, jump in, that's it, right? Like as long as he doesn't get ruptured and just run out the fight and kill himself, he should be fine. And yeah, Navi, they struggled closing out the games, and this is where Team Spirit, they really are playing on that. You know, they might be weak early on, but they're going to play on the fact that Navi will struggle. All
right, well, let's see this third and deciding game to this best of 3 series. We're going to head over to a commentary duo of OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, the deciding game now between Navi and Spirit. Fog, what's sort of sticking out to you the most here from these drafts that we've got here for this third game?
Lots of team fight. I'm actually really liking what Team Spirit's got this time. Really nicely synergized draft. Everything works together. Collapse has lots of options to go for this game. He can go for Ags with PA, Ags tied with Coil with PA, like this minus armor with the Coil, and they have the Fear with the Coil too with Willow. I love what they've drafted themselves. Navi also has something really strong, more of their kind of style with the Chen for Roger, but they need to play fast. I feel like Navi has to cause a lot of chaos in this game. If downtime starts happening too much, I feel like Team Spirit just thrives off of that.
Well, let's see. Well, we had such a high action-packed game last game.
Yep. And we get to see some fun stuff. You know, it's actually Team Spirit playing an aggressive lineup, where normally I feel like a lot of times I see them, they do have Oracle. Honestly, like Miposhka picks it if it's there. So a lot of times they are playing more of on the defensive aspect. This is Grimstroke and PA. You know, this Inkswell combo with Stroke of Fate, even pre-items, even pre-Battle Fury, PA can get kills, PA can get active. So this is fun, and I'm really looking forward to see how the mid matchup ends up going. Iceberg versus the Puck of Toronto Tokyo. And I love their lane setups. Yeah, I'm just really liking what Team Spirit's given themselves this time.
No, I think, you know, because this mid matchup, Kunkka should fare pretty well, right? To the point where Iceberg could have the lead here.
Yeah, he could. You have to poke a lot. That's what Puck needs to do, is you have to just apply that pressure and just keep him kind of low, because otherwise, you know, you're going to get hit by the cleaves. He actually dodged the cleave very nicely there in Tokyo, so he can play around it. He should still be able to get his farm. He's not at risk of dying ever. It's just Kunkka will probably just outfarm him slightly.
I mean, looking across the map, is anyone sort of at risk here? Who's going to be feeling the biggest pressure in the lane?
I don't think really many people. I guess the general could be at some problems on the Void Spirit, depending on how Roger plays around it, but Chen usually is able to alleviate a lot of that pressure. I think it's actually fairly even. I think all the lanes are happy with how they've been set up. Like V-Tune, he's got a magic stick, so he'll be able to sustain versus Tide. Tide doesn't care too much about the harassment that comes up from CM and Bloodseeker, unless he gets left. That's what we're gonna have to watch, is when the movements come out to check those runes in particular. That's when they can punish these side laners that'll be left a bit alone, and then they can easily get punished. Bottom's the chaos side, though. I think the most chaotic one, because just level 2 comes out on Grimstroke, PA can just commit in. But we have seen Navi. Roger gave the experience to General, so he'll have plays. He'll have plays around it. Top. Collapse actually getting kind of low.
He's actually turning. He's getting aggressive in on Always Wanna Fly, and with the Shadow Realm hit, they'll be the ones to get first blood.
Very nice. The stick versus stick lane. Lots of fun on those side lanes.
Let's spot him. Oh my goodness, Yatora. Getting rather low there.
Surprising. Yeah, surprising to see him get so low versus a Chen, who's just level 1. You know, General just did that all himself, just from some extra right clicks from Roger.
See top. Trying to make a move onto Mirror. Now Bloodbright's got a hit and he's gone. Taken out there. I think he did have the Shadow Realm bird before the silence came in, but not able to get it off.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I thought he'd actually be able to survive there. Level 2, as soon as CM hits 2, there's always that power spike. You got everyone brings triple mangoes, so you just have like 2 or 3 nukes that it can catch these support heroes off guard. It's not the biggest deal when you end up dying as these 4 positions versus CM. As long as you make them use the mangoes and mana. As V-Tune, Always Wanna Fly is actually pulling the lane right now while his carry's getting gone on. V-Tune, nice little step around.
Yeah, solid jukes, and does have a full wands as well, full stick. So a little hard for Spirit to press too aggressively onto him.
Oh, nice. Roger found the creep. So this is what I've seen Puppy do versus Inkswell a lot of the times versus Grimstroke. You get the Dispel. You get that Purge creep. It also allows you to get aggressive in the lane too if you catch the support on the side, but you can just Dispel the Inkswell every time it gets thrown out.
Let's see what Spirit do about this. I mean, they're obviously getting perfect farm for Yatoro down here.
Yeah, just don't force the S2 too much. They're a little bit low on regen. Miposhka actually has some extra, so they should be okay. They're going to try to kill the creep. That creep is very obnoxious. Can't actually play your Grimstroke at its maximum as level 2 Inkswell's online. Creep is still just chilling there. And Miposhka knows he can't go for it onto Yatoro.
And we're seeing on the top lane. Vichu not being pressured at all, really, by the two of them. He's farming fine. Mid lane, we are seeing Iceberg have sort of a wave of an advantage against Toronto Tokyo's puck. And we'll also be able to pick up an arcane room. Able to get it in time.
He doesn't actually commit the... I thought he just commit the orb for it, but opts not to. Now, Arcane Rune on a Tidebringer hits is really nice for Iceberg, and Iceberg's gone for all damage in the lane, and that's probably what's pushing him over as well as that Tidebringer. I'm just looking. Tokyo has 2 nulls, Iceberg has 2 bracers and a Blades of Attack on top, so does have a significant advantage there. And Arcane Rune's going to have him push the wave in a little faster, and he can even steal a camp away. It's good stuff coming out from Iceberg.
He's going to have a quick level 6 this game. So a lot of kill potential. I mean, if they sort of get a +1 and Toronto Tokyo's not too careful with his orb usage. Was it really?
Tokyo's really starting to fall behind.
That's a lot of damage.
He's just gone for straight base damage, so no bottle. So his regen is actually pretty low, and Iceberg is full healthy. Like, Toronto Tokyo has to be cautious now.
We'll see bottom. Roger's able to get the bounty ring, but he will pay with his life. Same time, top lane collapse. Able to run down, always want to fly. General, he's poking at the two of them, but not... I mean, he's got a pretty full wand, actually, so... Toro does have to be cautious, gets back under the tower, relying on that Ring of Health to keep him topped up.
God, this creep...
In lane.
Oh, mid, he's actually going for it himself.
Oh, and he's got it!
Is he gonna find him?
Oh, yes, he does! I mean, this mid lane Iceberg, he's beaten Toronto Tokyo pretty hard now, especially with that kill.
And you know what? This might be a statement from Iceberg. He's had a little bit of a rough one in the last 2 games. Now he's like, all right, I'm on my Kunkka. I'm on my strength melee hero. I'm feeling good. Gets that nice setup there. Super annoying creep bottom that we've been seeing put to use from Roger, the Stater Mindstealer. Just burning the man on PA, but now they get an opportunity perhaps on General.
Have they got enough damage though? General, he's able to take off the Embrace and dodge his way out with the Dissimulate. He'll be able to live. Very low on the HP though, so it's going to be have to be very careful. Roger's coming back over.
Nothing for you.
Roger's just being annoying. He just keeps burning the mana, throws out some lightnings as well from the side with the Harpy.
I mean, Iceberg's going to be super farm this game.
He found a stack as well that they had made earlier. He just takes that one away quickly with his ward. Phase boots are done. This is some really good stuff. And he's got some really nice side lanes to gank on Kunkka. One of the better heroes in the game to gank a Tidehunter. Can't remove that X and just overwhelming damage that does come out. So we could see them make a rotation on Iceberg at some point soon.
Yeah, coming into either of these side lanes would warrant a kill for sure. They don't really have the best measures of saving anyone from that complete Kunkka combo.
No, they'd have to get the counter gank. Like, Toronto Tokyo has to match the movements of Iceberg. And right now, he does have a ward, so he can keep tabs of what Iceberg is doing.
Top.
It's just farming. Stop.
Tune. He's speedy. He's trying to run. And he's going to be able to make it out to the side. Salve as well.
Here comes Iceberg.
Getting him back into fighting shape. And Mirror and Collapse, they've got to be careful. Same time down bottom, General and Roger, they're trying to dive in onto Miposhka with the Dissimulate. Is he going to have it? He's trying to salve up Miposhka. He'll get the silence off, but he'll still lose his life. Roger, he'll be able to TP away before Yatoro is able to finish him off. General will be fine, and they'll jump in, but he's still got the Pulse and a Remnant to play with, so Yatoro can't really chase any further.
Yeah, Iceberg's really running away with this game, though. 4K net worth to the 2.7 of Toronto Tokyo. Tokyo does find himself a nice fairy trinket, so he will have that extra magic damage as the puck. They're going to have to help him out, though. Especially if they want to try to set up on any kill or anything on Iceberg, it's tough. And Iceberg's going to go for the carry build. He's going to go for that armlet so he can scale with damage. I like this approach.
Yeah, fantastic armlet game. I mean, it always pretty much is a good armlet game, of course, on the Kunkka, one of the best armlet carries.
Yeah, especially with PA. Armor is always great as the coil off the mark.
Oh, just a little too slow there, or maybe, you know, General just a little too fast. Quickly into the ground without dissimulate, and the coil comes a moment after.
And that's a long cooldown. Well, long-ish, 80 seconds. And they're going to be able to push mid because of it. No coil. Tidehunter is the only one who can look to go mid, and Ravage is still on cooldown from when he used it up top. So it's a nice pressure play coming out from Navi. So they're actually looking to rotate more. We see Tokyo perhaps and Miposhka look to swing over since they're the two D-pushers to stop this push. And they're just actually going to stack some camps in the meantime on Miposhka, as well as Tokyo, but they will get to that mid lane to defend. And also stack, so nice maximizing. Iceberg, he's TPing bottom. He sees a PA getting some farm. There is a lane ward prepared though, so we will see Yotaro protected. And Iceberg has to just make the walk all the way back to the mid lane. Just some wasted time.
Always want to fly. Mirror, he's got the bramble and the shadow out. I know, straight over the TP. Always want to fly, makes it away.
The boat does connect in mid, even though he gets silenced. He will be able to jaunt away and survive. But now low on HP. And as we've mentioned, you know, no bottle build on Toronto Tokyo, so he's gonna have to keep bringing salves and clarities and stuff to keep himself on the map.
Bottom General. Oh, he's able to make it out to the river. Quick jump to the side, and he is out of there. We'll see back mid. Iceberg.
The room bottom.
They're trying to go on him, but he's very tanky. Does not really feel like a kill that they can try for.
They need the 6 on the Willow to kill Iceberg. He actually pretty much has the armlet done already. That is insane how farmed he is. 5.1k net worth. He's over 500 GPM right now. Just below it, actually, just to count it.
And now he's swinging down bottom. He's going to find Yotaro. Obviously no boat. So you want to try and set up for this. The rest of Navi are coming across.
He's just pushing him away, though. Pushing him out of his safe lane. And now Roger, he's got double creeps, and there's a catapult wave coming in, so he can apply pressure himself while they chase that PA completely out of the bottom lane. And B-Tune is able to hold his own up top. He's got his CM. Always want to fly backing him up. He gets the rupture. Collapse will just hold himself and flip over.
Bathes in his own blood.
That does look nasty on Tidehunter. And the push comes out. So Navi, they're going to be able to set up for that tower, mid tower, next on the menu. And this is exactly how they want to play. You know, they want to be causing chaos. They want to be getting themselves a nice gold advantage versus this PA lineup. As we know that Spirit wants to be able to take it to the later stages with this.
For the tween.
And oh, look at these stacks. Iceberg even finds these as well. So Armlet easily clearing these out. And I mean, that's going to enable him to a super fast BKB too.
Yeah.
He's going to have the Ogre Club as well already in a second.
With these sort of item timings, you know, Iceberg, he's going to be able to go where he wants. We may have seen him sort of be in some deep positions when he was dying on his Lycan and on his Queen of Pain, but this game is a Kunkka with the items that he's getting. He can go wherever he wants. I don't know if it's going to be that easy at all for Spirit to kill this man.
They'll bring the Tidehunter to stop that push, and they will get a nice coil on the side.
Okay, let's see if they can get the kill. I'm looking for this Void Spirit, Ravage out onto the two of them, and they'll have to follow him. Nicely done there. Set up from Tokyo, buys time for Collapse to get in, and they'll get the 2 kills.
Yeah, beautiful setup, and that's how they have to play this game. It's just about those big cooldowns, but they are cooldowns for a reason. So Navi, they're going to be able to take advantage. You know, 15 seconds, they'll be back up. Team Spirit, don't get too over-aggressive, but this is a good move. Finishing off this tower, there's no glyph. This is good stuff. And now it's going to be a little harder for Navi to take advantage of those big cooldowns being used. As Yotaro gets space to farm top. They know he's top, though. We see General already setting up there, and they're even going to smoke across with V-Tune. He's got the Maelstrom, so he's also off to a good timing. And we do see a lot of damage coming out from Navi, and a lot of ways to prevent damage. They did have to use the Hand of God, but they always will have Rum in the fights. And now there's no Ravage, no Coil. Team Spirit has to be cautious.
Well, they're sticking around though, Spirit. Meposhka, he'll get ruptured. Na'Vi will find the Grim. Can they get anything more? Won't be able to get their hands on mirrors.
They're
collapsed. A collapse. Do they have info that he's here? No, he's out with the TP.
They had a feeling though, because they knew he TP'd mid. So when he walked top, they probably had a feeling that it had a couple seconds left. They were right, but not able to quite find him. Time bought for V-Tune to continue farming, and time for Yatoro to continue farming too, because he still can't get involved for some time as this PA. Even though he has the Grimstroke, now with all this overwhelming pressure that is coming out, it is tough for him. And this mid tower, they really are still just getting that defense going though. They're not letting Na'Vi break it down.
I mean, they're nearly to be done on Roger. And I guess sort of what with that, and then when V-Tune has the BKB on top of the Maelstrom, that's when we're really going to see Na'Vi try to force Spirit into a position where PA is having to really consider turning up, or of course just losing objectives to this sort of early mid-game fight that Na'Vi wants to bring.
Yeah, Na'Vi, it's going to be that double BKB mech timing. There's still going to be a bit of time until they get there, but it's getting close. Probably one more set of like Ravage Coil that they need to endure before they do get those magic immunities out. And once they have those, the fights look really easy for them if they're actually able to just run through Team Spirit. Because they can just effectively like remove the Tidehunter, remove the Puck, remove the supports too. It's just going to be PA's damage that they need to worry about. And they need to make it work though. They need to make those BKBs hit hard. They need to make that mech hit hard. Because if the game gets to a point where it starts stalling out too much, Yatoro's got to take over. So Na'Vi does have to play pretty perfect once they do get their timing windows. And Spirit, they're going to look to battle. When they have ults, they are battle ready.
Let's see if Na'Vi's ready for this one, or if Team Spirit can catch them by surprise. As they're heading in, Dreamcoil drops down, they're throwing everything in onto Iceberg. The Fearful up, but he's able to get the boat off. He's going to have that run protecting him. Is it enough to keep him alive? No. With the Ravage out, they do manage to finish the kill. They take down Iceberg. They'll now turn over towards Always Wanna Fly as they pick up a second.
Nice big hit. They find the perfect target in the front line there. The Kunkka isolated, separated from his team. Roger had Hand of God, didn't end up using it to try to save him. He was finishing up the mech, and a nice strike from Team Spirit to give Yatoro time. He's got Battle Fury. Na'Vi has to do something. They have to be taking advantage of these cooldown timings now.
Not for sure. Otherwise, this PA is going to get pretty spooky.
This PA will win the game if Na'Vi just sits back and lets them just keep looking and picking apart the fights every time that Spirit looks for. Like, Na'Vi has to make their own move. They can't just play reactive Dota. It's collapse. He's tanky boy.
Yeah, he knows that they don't want to go on him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Na'Vi is going to try really hard to go for this tower. Team Spirit very aware of that, setting up all four, and Iceberg walks right into them on the high ground.
They just get the jump on him straight away. The backups coming in from the side here from Na'Vi as Iceberg. He's actually still alive, but he finally falls. He's gone down. V-Tune tries to commit underneath the tower. They've got the control and collapse, but have they actually got the damage to take down this Tide over towards the side? General, he's able to get in, finish off the kill on Meposhka. Back in mid, Collapse is still alive. Another Bloodbright coming out, though Collapse will finally fall. As Na'Vi, they may have lost Iceberg, but they find two, they get themselves the tower. Team Spirit, they're not done though. Yatoro, he's jumping in. The Fear's going to push back the Bloodseeker. Dreamcoil's back up. Toronto Tokyo's in with the lockdown onto V-Tune. They turn their efforts over towards General, buying time, and in fact looking for the chance to get back in. Jumps over towards Yatoro, but the Remnant won't quite catch him. As Mirror, Toronto Tokyo, they're chasing him down. They've got the magical damage as Toronto Tokyo bursts through the Void Spirit.
Pretty crucial deaths that are coming out on the side of Na'Vi. Like losing Iceberg again, BKB is going to be stalled out. They lose V-Tune as well. Yatoro cleans up. It's starting to look real good for Team Spirit. Only a 1K advantage, but I'm really feeling that looming pressure for Na'Vi. They need to just get more done, and that was all while Ravage was down. The next fight, now Ravage is going to be up, and Na'Vi still won't have their BKBs. So Spirit, they can look to fight again. This is going super well for them right now. As Iceberg, he's walking into them again. Coil's up in 3 seconds.
He needs help, and he needs it now, but I don't think Na'Vi can get here in time.
They're just going to Ravage and Coil him. They know how important he is to the game plan. They've just completely shut down Iceberg. He's below all 3 cores now.
I mean, he had such a brilliant opening, but these deaths are are putting him back in his place. He's no longer having that lead that he was really building up off the back of an excellent laning stage.
It's such precise strikes. Like, Spirit knows exactly what they need to do in this game. The way that they were parked on the high ground, Iceberg walked in and was like, oh my god, I just ran into 5 heroes. Why are they here? They know exactly how to play this game, and they are doing it. They are doing it very nicely here.
They certainly are. 11-8. And taking a tier 2 hit, 18 minutes in, and they're not the lineup that's really under huge pressure here to perform in this early stages. It's Na'Vi, and Na'Vi right now they're slightly behind.
It's gonna start picking up quick too for Spirit. They're gonna start getting way stronger to be able to take those fights always. Na'Vi they have to have a huge hit. They have to like win the game off of their BKB timing. Because if they don't, I think this game is gonna really just completely go in Spirit's favor quickly.
Then we'll get Mirror hit.
Find a kill there. V-Tune does have his BKB. Let's see if she can threaten Roche. Okay, perhaps.
There's no Ravage. Coil is back up. And they'll know that it's going on. The courier taken out. They know that Na'Vi's here in the pit. And Na'Vi knows as well. Na'Vi's been a little cautious how heavily they commit.
Yeah, they're all very healthy right now. And it is BKB, V-Tune in the middle of the pit. So they will give the respect to Team Spirit. They're going to just push out, get their own. And a nice move from Na'Vi. Feels like they needed this. And they're going to instantly smoke. Still no BKB on Iceberg. He's getting close to it, but they do at least have it on V-Tune. So he's got his big timing.
And of course, they see Yatoro underneath this ward. But he's blurred up, so they're not going to be too sure on which direction he's headed.
Mira pops the smoke on Roger.
Up top, Iceberg.
They found him again.
Oh, the tip's starting to come out now.
That's 4 times in a row that they found him after he had a perfect start in this game. Just precise strikes, and that one didn't require Coil. That one didn't require Ravage. They just killed him with Inkswell. Now they're gonna have Ravage and Coil for the next fight, and it's still no BKB on Iceberg. This is just really good stuff from Team Spirit. And Na'Vi, they still have Aegis. They're still in an okay spot, but they're under the gun. They're under the pressure to close the game out. There's a PA tied. PA tied in later stages is just, it's the bread and butter. It's the dream. Iceberg has to, okay, just let him farm in a safe spot. Iceberg, go farm triangle. Needs to get the BKB.
Up top. I mean, yeah, very close to having that BKB done, which is 400 gold away. You can see it. The frustration definitely felt here by Iceberg.
He's getting targeted. He knows he is too.
He knows it's the tips might be getting to him.
He's got BKB and 10 gold, so he will have it ready for the next fight, and they still do have Aegis. So Na'Vi, let's go. Let's force the issue. Let's see what you can get with your fight. You're gonna have to do it into Ravage, into Coil. You're gonna have to play around it nicely. You have to be careful as it is collapsed. Also, I believe, is he gonna pick up the blink? He's deciding right now which one he wants. He is gonna get the blink. So they have to be quick on their fingers because that Ravage could catch them off guard. Now that he does have blink, and they have good follow-up with the puck blink dagger too. And they have all the snap, as we've already mentioned and seen. Terrorize with Coil, always a big threat. And Tokyo is close to Aghanims too, so we're talking about how important BKBs for Na'Vi are. He's almost got the counter to them.
Let's see what Na'Vi's next move's going to be. Trying for this tier 2 top.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I'm so stressed out for Na'Vi right now. This feels like the game is just so different. They have to do every single move like perfect and precise. Otherwise, like 1 or 2 moves, and they just lose the game to this PA and Tidehunter.
Spirit just getting that little bit more out of this now.
Yep, they're just avoiding that Aegis. They're finishing up the Ags on Tokyo, finishing up the next item on Yatoro too, and he's got that BKB done. So they're honestly ready to fight when they have Ags Coil, and he's got it.
Yeah, already straight back to base in, ready for the defense.
This might catch Na'Vi off guard. One minute and 40 seconds left on the Aegis. And Yatoro's still getting space, and he's still able to farm. So I don't think they need to really like go look for the fight on Spirit. Just wait till it comes to you, wait till you see the opportunity, because your PA is still getting all this far. I think they're feeling it too. I'm seeing them chat wheeling a lot. I'm seeing some smiles. I think they're feeling pretty good.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, Navi, it's like their timing has been hit. It's just what can they do and what can they accomplish with this? Because now it's, I believe, what, S and Y finished up on Bloodseeker. So he's got status resist versus all those big stuns.
And he's got a minute left on the Aegis as well, V-Tune.
Spirit really looks like they're looking for a precise strike as the Aegis is expiring to look for a jump, as they do have that high ground ward.
Na'Vi with the smoke though.
Na'Vi.
They might get the jump. His Spirit, no, they're going to see it straight away. They step to the side. The Yule set up into the Cursed Crown onto V-Tune. X mark over to Mirror. They're dropping the Rupture as well onto the Willow. They want Mirror dead. They'll get it.
At least we're not stuck in Coid.
Look how they just don't go in. They're going to smoke and re-go. They're waiting for Aegis timeout. 30 seconds. They see that they're split up. They see Iceberg for a second.
They're going to try and make the move. Straight in they go again, immediately blowing the Ravage onto Iceberg. Hand of God comes out. Iceberg is able to get the BKB up, but Yatoro's in with the physical damage. Is he able to take Iceberg down? No, the armlet toggles. As Iceberg, he's going to be able to live. He's TP'd out, and he's away. No, he's away. He's away. He's able to make it out. V-Tune now looking for the cleanup. He's looking for Collapse. Collapse trying to TP out. Has V-Tune got the damage? He has. V-Tune takes down the Tide. Miposhka, Yatoro, Mirror, and Toronto, Tokyo. They're looking for General. They've got the silence. General will go down. So this time, Iceberg able to survive, but still 3 heroes dying around him.
Beautiful coil by Tokyo, catches the 3 on the back lines after it, and Yatoro does come in and get some nice cleanup kills, so it's still really good for Spirit. The fact that Na'Vi can't force the issue with Aegis with their BKBs, that just says everything to me. Spirit feeling really good. They had to use Mirror's buyback, but well worth it. And now they might actually be able to set up on V-Tune as they have vision on him.
On V-Tune. He's very dead. They've got him.
Very dead.
Oh, they're getting some big kills here.
They're starting to feel confident too. Miposhka bought a Veil. That's like, he's a 5 position that's able to get Veil in this game, and it bamps up everything. It's so good on the Willow, so good for the puck. Really solid pickup. That's a huge kill. 45 seconds where PA is able to get all this crazy farm. Bloodseeker, your 1 position Bloodseeker. Off the map for 40. And time for the Ravage, time for Ravage to come back online. All the big benefits for Team Spirit.
Yeah, V-Tune has to just sort of really pop off in these fights, but we're seeing it just takes a little too long for him to get these kills right now. Spirit, a little too tanky on some of these. Especially Yatoro.
They're getting the jump. Yeah. It makes it really hard when your Kunkka's having to just effectively do nothing inside the fights besides just run away. Because every single time they've got on top of Iceberg.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, Ravage back up in 15. Na'Vi have to be ready for the fight that's going to come to them.
I mean, how do you fight into this?
They have to try to control Tokyo in particular, but it's so hard. He's just so high level and so tanky now on this puck that they don't have the control for him. Void Spirit can't actually do so. And he doesn't have the Ags yet either on the Void Spirit, so definitely can't. Is Team Spirit ready to fight? Ravage ready.
Oh, they're going to get the jump. Collapse. He's in. The Ravage straight away on a V-Tune. V-Tune, is he going to be able to get out of this? The follow-up fear, they're locking him down. V-Tune, he's still alive though. He's able to turn, drop the blood bright, but Yatoro's got the physical damage as he focuses down the Bloodseeker. V-Tune's out of the fight, and Yatoro, he's ready to start looking for his second target. Over to the side, always want to fly, taken out. The stun combo there, locking down Iceberg as Spirit find a third. Roger, he's trying to go for the TP out. Is he able to make it away? He is. But again, it's 3 dead on Na'Vi. As these fights definitely seem to be in that territory now where it's very hard to see what sort of setup is going to allow Na'Vi to come out on top. As Spirit, they're just making these fights look very, very easy. Every single time, Collapse just getting the perfect Ravage jump onto a core.
They have such overwhelming team fighting control, and they're always getting the jump. They're always getting the initiation. Na'Vi don't have your natural blink initiators like Blink Ravage, Blink Coil. It's a Void Spirit who has to jump in and start the fights in general. Doesn't have Ags. If he had Ags, it could be a little bit of a different story because he can cover and protect his teammates, but they're just fully on the defensive, fully on the reactive plays every single one of these fights. Honestly, Spirit looks... This is the best game by far that I've seen them play with the way that they're setting up these kills and setting up the defenses and just reading the map and just understanding all their timings. It's really clean play coming out from Spirit. I love watching just methodical movements like this. Tokyo 5-11 after a rough
He's getting in. They're onto Roger. They're going to commit straight away onto the champ. Roger's gone over to the side. Dream coil down. The follow-up fear's there. Is he going to snap it in time? No, the coil comes to an end, so Vichun will be able to get out. Tries to turn back over towards Toronto, Tokyo, but he's out with the orb. Spirit now holding the high ground here is Na'Vi. They've got to be careful, especially with a hero down. They are not in any sort of shape to fight Spirit.
Vichun with his S and Y and his Titan Sliver, the status resist actually ends up bailing him out there. The coil duration just also gets lessened from that status resist, so it does at least cover him versus it this time. But Spirit, they will have Ravage up in 20, so same thing still is still being there. You know, they're going to be able to look and pick for these fights whenever they do want and get those big jumps. It's Na'Vi just never going to be able to set up for it either. They're just always under vision because of how this whole mid game has gone. Just always Spirit looking for the fight. And now they do at least have General with Ags. He has to be pretty crazy, pretty reckless with this one. He has to get way into the backlines, get on top of the puck, get on top of the tide. Somehow to just try to silence and cover them while his Bloodseeker cleans up the rest. It's not going to be easy.
It's been a few fights now in a row where Na'Vi have just struggled to get much out of it at all. Spirit always being the ones with the jump.
Yeah. And they're set up around this area. Roshan 15, they've got a nice ward down too to watch Navi's movements. They just saw that they were walking outside of the base, so they know that Navi's grouping up right now. Or they should know. And DD spawns top. Yatoro's got his eyes set on it.
Oh, he
Navi
wants
maybe
it.
The trap.
Oh, and he's got it. He just walks in with the blur. He picks it up. There's going to be a smoke up here front. Spirit, they're good to go. There's the jump. Collapse. He's in with the Ravage. He finds Vichun and he finds Iceberg. A beautiful jump there yet again from Spirit with Collapse leading the way. These Ravages every single time, it's just ended the fight as soon as it started really for Na'Vi. They have no chance with Collapse getting these sort of jumps this consistently.
They're so on point. Everyone, the combination between them together, Miposhka with the ink swell every time, the vision, the re-smoke and back up. This team is just so prepared for this game, and Na'Vi feels like they don't know what hit them.
We'll see it again here.
Situations.
Straight in, and you know what better two heroes to hit? The carry and the mid alone without any backup ready to save them. You know, there's certain smiles there. You know, Spirit, they're going to know as a team right now how well that this is going for them.
They're going to try for him, but he's very tanky now at this point with all these items. And he will be just fine. Got Lincoln's, Ags, Blink.
And inside, they're just killing them in the base. They're killing them in the base. They always want to fly goes down. They'll buy back. Fortification as well. Spirit do start to back off, but they're now at a 14k lead.
Radiant's bottom tower.
They have just completely devastated Navi's whole plan. Like, Navi's plan was to be able to break stuff with BKBs. They precisely hit Iceberg so many times this game, installing the BKB, getting them timings to get Ags coil online, and just it's really just been a perfect show of clean execution from ultimates. As Na'Vi going for a wraparound, feels like this could be a last hurrah.
Let's see what they can do. How long till the Ravage is back? Is it? So 45-6, so a bit of a window.
Doesn't feel easy even fighting into this anyway without Ravage at this point because of how big this PA now is. Like, Yatoro is just going to start assassinating both supports in seconds.
Yeah, with the Aegis as well, he's more than happy to be the one that jumps in. As they've got the Inkswell on him. Oh, General. Keeping himself out of vision.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Tough fights to take here for Na'Vi. I mean, they've only got harder with each loss that they've suffered.
And it's just every time we see Team Spirit, they're smoked up, looking for it. Ravage about to come back up, just waiting for the combos. And they've all got such great follow-up with it, as we've seen several times now. Mira, even now having Blink and Yules, he's always going to have the follow-up Terrorize. So much control inside these fights. And Navi's just trapped now. They're just trapped in their base. They can't look to take any 5-man fights really at all. But they can't actually find anyone split up either. As you see, level 20 hit. Solar Crest finished on Collapse, and now he's queued up that Ags. So AoE Gush, pretty good with a PA and a Coil.
Absolutely.
And even a BKB on Tokyo. Jesus, he is just so farmed on this puck.
Oh!
As Poor always want to fly.
He's out for a minute. Was off the back of a buyback.
Distortion, your anger is useless here.
Navi knows the position that they're in. They can't show much of anyone. Even Iceberg Xing and going outside the base for a second looks scary.
It's a little spooky.
I love clean Dota, honestly. I'm so happy to see Team Spirit playing this way. Like, these last 30 minutes, I haven't seen such precise play in a while. So it's always nice to see from your non-secrets playing like that.
Well, here we have Inks well set up, but Yutoro can't quite find the jump. I'm going to X-Mark him, Yutoro. He just moved straight in onto General. And taking down the tier 3s. What can Navi do to stop this? Trying to set up here with the Yules. Yutoro.
Stopping the Blink daggers with this Wild Wing, with the Tornado, it's actually stopping Collapse's Blink. So that's pretty annoying.
It's all right, able to make it away, though. They keep that Aegis safe for another push.
Navi's just still stuck in their base. They can't get out. And you just look at the hand holding the Team Spirit's doing. Everyone's moving across the map together. No one being left alone. No one split pushing a side lane or hitting a neutral camp. Everyone's swinging, playing around the PA, playing around the Tide, around these bounty runes now. Tokyo, he's got a haste. He can play up top. He's super safe. He's got BKB Lincoln's Puck at this point, so no way that he can go down. He can go swing out, deal with those side lanes.
And Navi very carefully trying to step out the base a little bit, but
they just can't. Iceberg killed one camp, and then he just runs away
back to the high ground.
Always want to fly. Tries inching out. He will get them at least a ward down. Him and Roger.
Stepping out. Trying to get some of that ward control back here.
They just don't have damage in the fights either. It just feels like they're just going to get slaughtered as soon as the fight kicks off. Team Spirit still being patient.
Regeneration.
I mean, as you say, Spirit, they know that they're not under any pressure here. They could happily back off and play the farm game. With Yutoro's PA, they'd only just continue to grow this lead.
Yeah, and then Tidehunter gets Ags, and then Might's minus 11 armor on everybody. So Yutoro does even more damage. So yeah, every growing moment just feels better for Spirit. Now they're going to look. They're rallied around this ward here on the side of Navi. Spirit, they're going to play away from that high ground. Looks like they might just enter top with the creeps in mid since top tower's at 100 HP. Pushka's going to get a ward down. Wait to see if someone does show them themselves. Navi is aware, though, of that ward. General? It's the most cautious farming I've ever seen, right? X the Bloodseeker so you can farm a creep wave. It's the only way that they can get any space on the map, though, and he is close to at least an Abyssal Blade to control one or two of these targets on V-Tune. Still feels like damage is really going to be the issue, not that control, but
yeah, I mean,
anything they can get.
It's going to be Abyssal Blade into Rapier for sure. Anything else,
he has to.
It's not going to cut it. And mid lane, looking for the setup on General. Can't quite lock him down.
Oop. A PA is almost 25. Maybe Yutoro just finishes that, as he's also got Nullifier done. Tune actually goes for a rupture here.
I mean, Toro's not going to care too much as he just holds his ground. V-Tune's trying to get in with the BKB, but now they jump forward. The fear's out, but the roam will protect V-Tune a little bit. There's a lot of damage coming out from these crits from Toro as he turns his attention over towards General now, jumps into V-Tune. The V-Tune BKB comes to an end. The Ravage is there from Collapse as it comes out immediately. Catches onto the two of them, secures the kill on V-Tune. Over towards Always Wanna Fly, they jump. General is trying to get back in it, but they don't have the damage. GG is called. Spirit will take game 3, and with that, the series is theirs, 2-1. As we really did see Spirit just step up their game again today. As as one of the invited squads that you do expect a high performance from them, they certainly brought it today. Even in the game that they lost, solid plays through and through. And then in this third game, just never allowing Na'Vi to really find the timing that they were going for with the draft. As Spirit, they had complete control of this whole game, it felt.
Yeah, and just it was so precise by them and such a good understanding of the game is what that shows me. The way that they were playing around, just like never lose this mid tower to this Chen. They didn't. They kept that tower alive during the majority of the game. They did end up losing eventually, but they ended up keeping alive during the important parts, and they just kept killing Iceberg. Iceberg walked up that hill blind because he's like, there's no way they're set up here. They don't have Ravage. They don't have Coil. He almost dies immediately, if not does die right in that fight, and it happened several times. So 3-4 times where they stalled his BKB, and they got their timings. They hit every single timing perfectly. They set up the kills all over the place, and it was beautiful. I love watching when a team is able to utilize long cooldown ultis like Tidehunter and make it look so perfect.
No, and excellent to see in a region where it's very much sort of felt like for the most of this league that Na'Vi and VP have just been a step ahead. To have a team, Spirit come in this series, even though they haven't maybe had the best sort of track record so far in the league. But to have this sort of performance against one of these teams, against Na'Vi, it's very exciting to see as Spirit definitely showing their stronger side here today as they'll take this series 2-1 against Na'Vi.
And with that, they still have